Best of r/entitled parents episode 26. So I'm a daycare worker and I get a lot of babysitting gigs. For some backstory, I babysit this sweet little boy and his mother lives with another mom with 2 kids, but they're typically never at the house. Their grandma watches them. One of her children is so bad that he got kicked out of our daycare program at school. The other is in 6th grade and keeps to herself. Normally when I watch the good kid, the mom pays me $25 a day, which isn't much, but he's well behaved and easy so I don't mind. But one day the other mother left her 2 kids at the house. We had previously discussed me watching her kids as well for the same price, but she ended up saying I was asking too much. I don't really think about $3 an hour is an absurd amount, but whatever. The good kid and the bad kid don't get along at all. It's lots of constant fighting, screaming, crying, hitting, and it's hard to control at times. The mom of the 2 kids texts me and says she'll pay me if I took the kids to the park, and I said okay. The children were fighting per usual and I suggested they play Minecraft and they agreed. They were playing nicely and everything was going well, and I asked them if they wanted to go to the park soon. They said in a little bit and I was fine with that since I finally got them to calm down. The mother of the 2 children texted me and said she was on her way home and asked if I took them to the park. I told her they weren't ready to go yet and that they were playing video games now. This woman told me exactly this. You know that means I'm not paying you, right? Why would I pay you for my kids to stay at my house? Maybe BC your child is a demon. I know we had agreed for me to take them to the park for payment, but I had spent 8 hours there taking care of her children. I cooked for them, broke up all of the fights and had to deal with my eardrums basically bleeding the whole time from the crying and screaming. I was exhausted. I still got paid $25 from the mom of the good child and she apologized for me having to deal with the horrible one, but it still makes me upset thinking about it to this day. This probably isn't that great of a story, but I recently got reminded of it and wanted to share. Like I said, I work in childcare, so if you would like more stories let me know. I have so many. Thank you. Next. I finally get to post here. Before I only listened to Reddit story on YT. BTW, I'm from Germany and we have different school systems, so sorry if something is wrong. I'll try my best. The event happened many years ago, like 11-13 maybe, and I have to mention that my young brain basically deleted everything, so I might not be able to tell everything as it happened. The cast: EK equals entitled kid, EM equals entitled mom aka one of the people working in the kindergarten, MF equals my father. The story takes place when I was in kindergarten. There was this one kid who was a real troublemaker. His name was EK. He always destroyed sand fortresses and Lego builds. Sometimes he was just bored, so he started kicking others. One day when he was bored again, his mom aka EM told me that I had to play with him because it wasn't fair that I play with everyone but him, and even as a young small boy I didn't like the idea. But of course I was a good kid and obeyed her demand. It ended up with me losing my friends because EK followed me everywhere and no one wanted me around with him. I was basically his punching bag. Once my parents noticed that something was wrong, they questioned me about it. After that they contacted the kindergarten and asked them to do STH about it. Nothing happened. 2 weeks later my father came to pick me up and wanted to talk to EK's mom. His mom told him that I was the problem and her vicious little angel is only trying to help me because apparently I obviously never had friends because of how I look. ? I didn't get that either. My dad wasn't having any of her bullshit. MF. I saw him kick my son. EM. So, they're just playing. MF. You tell your son right now to stop following him, kicking him and talking to him, or I will tell him, and you can trust me when I say that your son will never forget that. He will never dare to even look at him. After that she complained to the kindergarten's boss demanding that they kick me out. I know this sounds surreal. In Germany however that's illegal. They can't just kick you out. The boss of the kindergarten would have never done that anyways. She loved all the kids. So at first nothing changed and that little shit kept bullying me. When MF found out, all of motherfucking hell broke loose. Here I want to mention that I don't like violence or something, but that piece of garbage kid really deserved it. I put it in words how much he deserved. MF went to EK, grabbed him by the shirt and picked him up like 4 feet above the ground. If you ever touch u/Bennock 123 again you will regret to have ever been born. Well, that was maybe rude and the boy cried, but surprisingly it worked. He never bullied me after that. We didn't become friends, but that really didn't bother me, and EM avoided MF since then. So this was my first story and I hope you liked it. Edits. Corrected some wrong words. Edit 2. After EK stopped following me, everything was back to normal. Thank you. Next. Everyone liked my previous story, so here is another one. Me and my brother were in an internet cafe. We had paid for 6 hours and we were an hour 2, I think. Then entitled Mom, EM, and entitled Kid, EK, entered the cafe. You can play in the PC, you have to pay. Me and my brother were not side by side. Then EM and EK approached my brother. I was keeping an eye on him and EM and EK were watching him for like 5 minutes. My brother told me that he told them this, "May I help you?" I forgot to mention that it was Saturday and the place was full crowded and my brother was the youngest one and her son was like 7 years old. EM: Yay, my son wants to play but there is no other PC. B: I'm sorry but I had purchased for this PC for the next 3 hours. I started noticing that they were talking for a little too much. EM: Please, today is his birthday and he was looking forward to this. Do you really want to ruin a kid's birthday? I stepped in. I am the type of guy that doesn't give a F for nothing, but I can't tolerate Karens. I was 15 at the time and my brother was 10. Me: What is going on here? EM: That little brat stole my son's PC. She didn't know that he was my brother. Me: Trying not to laugh because from Reddit I knew where this was going. Me: Okay, I understand. Probably this was her first time going there because everyone has a username for his PC. I called the staff and explained what happened. M: That little brat stole my son's PC. B: No, I didn't. EM: Stop lying me. Then what is the username? M: Looks confused as F stuff. If you tell me the username I will kick them out. The username was his first and last name and I was sure that she will never guess it. Then the next thing she asked was hilarious. She asked my brother what is his name. The staff was holding back to not to laugh. Then he said, "This is not your PC and please leave our store." EM was so ashamed that she took her son and walked silenced out of the store. Then the manager came and apologized and we got a free drink, so thank you, Karen. I hope you liked my story. Sorry for bad grammar. Thank you. Next. Hey guys. I have posted things in other communities but this is probably my first time posting on the thread. Sorry for any bad formatting. Anyways, let me get to the content of this. I have been openly bi for a year and every time me and my mom are alone together at home while she is pissed at me, she brings up the fact that I am bi and how she never thought her son would become bi. Also, I rarely act on going for guys cause not many guys are openly gay or bi at my school and would go for me. Also, she is a lot like a Karen but those stories of her are for another day. Note, my mom knows I have been in 2 relationships with guys before and they were both online. The first was with Aki. Aki is little nickname I called him. A really cute guy that helped me discover that I was bi, but then stuff happened and he found out about some of the stuff I did in the past. The second one was with Riley, a nice dude that lived in Canada. His parents were really religious and when they found out about our relationship and our lewd and teasing texts, they decided to let him send a final message to me before taking him offline until he doesn't live with them. Normally, my mom starts it with this or something similar. I will go off the latest that happened. Last night. Mom: Tommy, are you still bisexual? Me: Yeah. My mom was yelling at this point, Mom, why do you still identify as that? If you are interested in Becca, you can just say you are straight and get the target off of your back. Becca is a really close friend. Most of my friends and her friends ship me and her. Becca is bipolar, had ADHD like me and deals with depression. Becca has dealt with bullying and such before just like me. Me and her weren't bullied anymore but we feared being bullied again. I was trying to stay calm at this point. Me: First, can you please not bring Becca into this? I am sorry but I don't want her name associated with your constant talk to me about wanting me to be straight again. Second, being bi doesn't put a target on my back. My whole school accepts the LGBTQ+ community. Hell, they recently added a few gender-neutral bathrooms for the people that don't identify as male or female to use in the recent expansion of the school. Mom, don't you dare talk back to me. Now, I know you haven't had your first kiss at this point and you haven't had sex with a dude before, so you don't know if they are sexually appealing to you. Now look, The LGBT whatever community has much higher rates of STDs and such for members of it compared to straight people. You can't just go after a guy thinking that you won't have to pay for condoms. Plus, all LGBT people are much more sexually active and more likely to cheat than us monogamous straight people. At this point she stopped and I thought I finally had a chance to say something, so I tried. Also, my mom hates saying the Q part of LGBTQ+. Me, mom, you can't just stereotype them just cause of their sexual choice. Also, I am bi, thus part of the LGBTQ+ community. You just can't think of me as the straight boy I used to be. I have grown and I am a young man now. I have discovered things since then and I have changed. Mom, I just want you to be that person you used to be. I want that sweet boy that used to crawl in bed after having a nightmare. I don't want you to be bullied like you used to do for your ADHD and sensory processing disorder. You finally got the last bully out by exposing his little illegal business dealing vapes to kids. You don't need someone to hurt you. It's true that the last bully business was exposed, but it was him making up stories that I threatened to kill him after beating him in a game that really pushed him cause he was sending in so many reports that they finally decided to investigate what he did. Hell, he had pics of me reading books about guns between classes, but I was a gun nut back then but didn't own a gun. It's cause of him that I carry at least one knife around when not at school. I am still worried he might try killing me cause he was ruined cause of me. Look, I won't let anyone hurt me. I carry Vert, my nickname for my pocket knife, around almost all the time in case if someone does try, and plus, I have friends that will back me up. Mom, and there you go with you thinking you are untouchable just cause you watch all those stupid cartoons with your father. Me, cartoons and anime are much different. Plus, I don't have as much time for them cause you make me study Spanish so much, even though it is something I hate. Anyways, let's stay on topic. Why do you really want me to not be bi? Mom, you don't know how your future spouse would react to you being bi. She might feel worthless cause she doesn't have the stuff to fully satisfy you. I was pissed at this point and I needed to get away before I blew up. My mom knew I had trouble handling my emotions. Me, mom, I going to go to my room cause I don't want to blow up and yell like you always do. I started heading to my room but she started yelling. I kept going cause I didn't want to burst and yell at her. Today, she has been staying away from me to try to make me feel bad, but that doesn't work with me. Thank you. Next. Okay, so, the place I go to for counseling was having a Halloween party. Any child could come if they were related to someone getting treatment there. My mom got my 3 younger siblings ready for it, and I helped. So I was feeling good that day, and when I'm in a good mood not much could bring that mood down. Me, L, little sister EM, entitled Mother M, my mother. We were waiting in the kids' room, and eating cookies and drinking punch. This one mother was irritating me by trying to show off was speaking in at least 3 different languages, and failing in one. That means her and I weren't on good terms at that point already. Her kid, around my age, was being very pushy and bossy. Eventually people wanted all the kids to be in a picture with a worker in a Dino costume. This is where things started going downhill. Elle didn't want to be in the picture, so the woman kept saying that if she didn't get in the picture there would be no candy for her. Now keep in mind, this woman doesn't work there. Never has. Obviously never will. My sister hasn't treated social anxiety, and that showed. M said fine, we'll just leave. Although I didn't hear her, she told me after we got home. M seemed about ready to take EM's head off at that point. I saw Elle backing up further into a corner, and glared at the woman who, by the way, would not stop basically harassing Elle. After a moment I tried to help, just motioning for the lady to shut up, and, surprise surprise, she didn't shut her trap. So I did my best with EM still talking. I held my hand out to Elle. Come on sis, I'll hold your hand. It'll be fine, I promise. After about a minute I managed to get her to take my hand and come over to the other since EM refused to have the picture taken without everyone being in the picture. Right before I managed to get Elle to come over, M said that Elle had the social anxiety, and EM, in the most sickeningly sweet fake voice said, "Oh no, I'm so sorry, I didn't realize. I'm sorry." Even though we were at a place for counseling for things like that, Elle seemed very happy after, and, despite wanting to knock EM's head off, Both me and Em managed to get through the party without doing so, even though Em kept being that way. TL. Doctor. Em tries to boss my sister around and force her to be in a picture she didn't want to be in due to being near people and having social anxiety in a children's counseling building. Thank you. Next. I recently visited my local Christmas market / fairground. There were some stalls with food counters and typical fairground games which I had a nose around. One stall was a dartboard with a challenge of scoring 30 points or less with 4 darts. An additional rule to this was if a dart missed the board you'd be penalized 24 points. And Em was locking up a storm because her son threw his darts and his landed in 5/18 as well as 2 darts missing the board. The EM said that as 2 darts landed below 30 her son should get 2 prizes. When the attendant explained that he scored over 30 due to 2 darts missing as well as scoring 23 on the board, she kicked right off. Apparently the attendant made her son distraught because he was convinced by his mother that he had won 2 prizes. She demanded to speak to her manager, which there wasn't any, and screamed that the stall was a scam and she had won the 2 prizes. Eventually she left, half dragging her son, claiming she would post about this on social media. Kudos to the attendant as he didn't give in and refused to give out any prize. Thank you. Next. This is a story that happened to me, and it concluded today. I'm writing this on mobile, so sorry if there are typos. Background knowledge. So my parents divorced about 3 years ago. It was a pretty nasty divorce and it is still messing up my life to this day. My dad moved twice after he got kicked out of the house, and my time is split 50/50 between parents. Over the years I have accumulated gift cards from my birthdays over the years, about $150, as I prefer saving up money to get myself something nice. Whenever my birthday fell on my dad's day he insisted that I keep the gift cards I get from friends and family, not him, at his house because he helped me get them, or they're from his family or your mom will take them for herself. Super hypocritical, as you'll see soon. So I abided by his wishes and kept them at his house in his room. My brothers also kept their gift cards there, so in total there was about $300. Edit. Then my dad moved twice. A while back, we asked him for some of the gift cards back. He said he lost them. We were devastated, as we had lost a lot of money. Fast forward to earlier today. We needed to get gift cards for our friend's birthday party and my dad took one out of the gift card bag that he said was lost. We looked inside and there was only about $100 left. He had already used the rest. We were furious and demanded that he gives us the rest. He lied and said that because he bought the gift cards, he didn't, that they're technically still his. He then went and locked them away in a safe, saying I won't let you steal them from me. All I know is that from now on I'm definitely keeping all my stuff at my mom's house. TLDR, dad ruins kids' dreams for $300 and lies about what happened to the money.